Hi everybody, it's Colin here from Woodthorpe International. It's very warm, it's quite pleasant in here. It's saying it's 27, but it doesn't feel as warm as that. I'm quite pleased with the temperature. I like the hot weather. So, anyway, I've got some bits to show you what I've been up to, and I've finally decided and I've started to carve out what I've been living with a bit. And you probably have seen these bits of insulation because I didn't want to be able to see, because this is my place, this area, just slightly forward, so I'm looking like that I don't want to see the whole layout. I want to stand up or have the chair a bit higher or move to see different areas. So when the train goes round Reflection Cove, barring things on the back scene, you're not going to be able to see the station, which is on the other side. And vice versa when I'm filming across here at the right height, I don't want to be seeing the track, what these wagons have come from or going to, without actually standing up and physically moving. So I've lived with it for about a month and I love it. I've decided on shapes and I've cut them, and I'll show you this. I've had these delivered. Just fancied a little bit of a change from making rocks and sticking them on. I'll show you what I've been up to with that, but I've got one pack of those, which are the bits what slope, and I've got 2 packs of inch, and I've got a pack of 16. It was a cheaper way of doing it, bulk buying, of 1/2 inch, and that will then get me up to 2 inch, which is the thickness of this, or the gap down there, to get from down there to the lower bit. And I want to put that in one to get that area done, and then I can also store some trains down there. So I've been doing that. I've got them delivered, and these are the rocks so far. There's about 450 individual pieces of rock in that area there. I'll just start to then, from this point here, extend the grass. I've gone right round to there, and then I've got some more here and a great pile of them here to go on, and there still won't be enough there. If that actually gets me to here and this bit, I'll be well happy. What I haven't got to do is run out and make a batch. I've got to keep making batches when there's still a good 100 or so left, so I can mix them in if the colours have a major change. Up to now, they haven't. So far, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5, maybe 6 mixes I've done to get that amount made and those stuck on. But I'm enjoying doing it. It's just a bit fiddly. What I end up doing is sticking a couple on the bottom row too high with super glue, and then the top bit, the rest gets done in PVA glue. But it's just, you know, picking up a piece of stone, see if it goes there, if it fits, change, you know, move it about. But it's great. It's what I've seen in my head. I've seen a picture, and this is what I originally thought. So, but what I thought I'll just do, just to have a change, is just have a mess about with that. And it's to go from here down to this level, but going round the back of these hills here, which I'm still living with, to see shapes and stuff, and to join on to that point nearest to us on the inside lane there, which there should be enough room if my plans have worked out. And then I can put some more track, and again I've got somewhere so I can store some stuff, just to have a change, and it'll make me tidy up a bit. There's stuff everywhere, but that's the joy of building and running trains as well, and that's what I'm doing, is still running trains at the same time as building and sticking rocks on. It's good fun. I enjoyed it. Anyway, I'll show you a little bit more when I've got something else to show you. So I've stuck the risers in. So I've slightly turned the corner onto there, so it wasn't going out and turning, it's turning into it like that. And then it goes down all the way to there, ready to connect to those points and go straight on. Now, these were the bits of insulation, and they were all, you know, a bit square, slightly slow shaped, but nothing special. And I decided that this needed to be a bit higher. That's the station over on that side. Now, I'm not bothered about filming this way and seeing this line, but oops, if I'm low enough, I don't want to be seeing these lines or those from here, and some, if I have the camera pointing the other way towards where we are in the station. I'm not bothered over there. I've said this before, there is going to be buildings and woodlands, because there's either going to be a furniture factory, which I thought of just recently, or it's still going to be a wood yard, where over here is the timber yard, where the logs are. But don't know just yet. I'm thinking more of making this a area where logs get delivered, because they're not going to be taking it off the hillside no more, because this is the heritage area. But to earn money is to have a small timber cutting facility, and then over here, excuse the moving, roughly where those tracks are, is have a furniture factory, and then I can have box cars going to that area. So, and other timbers can go off to be delivered to other parts of the country. So that's what my thoughts are. But how I've stuck these down, I wasn't going to show you. Basically, I've just copy text inch at the bottom, and then a ½ inch, and then the slope on top. The next segment, which starts from here, only has inch on. And then the next segment, starting from there, is only 1/2 inch and the slope. And on top of the inch here, there's a slope, and then it's just one slope at the bottom. So it's nice and continuous all the way up, 2%. And then down here, I've put the slope going down, and that's now got all the slope bits on. It's got tape on because with me wanting to cut it in half, if you cut it in half, you lose the distances and stuff. Not that it's a problem, but if you tighten it up, it makes the slope even higher. And again, that's 2% going off down there. And the tape will come off. If I just pull a bit, now it's stuck. And I'll just pull that off all the way down. A little bit harder where there's a joint, but once it gets going, that one, and I'll just leave that there. And now what I'm going to do is just run some plaster bandage over the top of this, just so the ballast doesn't fall down all these gaps. And then I'll take the plaster bandage from here over and then down and make a bit of a slope down there. I might cut some more insulation for that, just to make it a bit more solid. Or I might shove some bits of paper screwed up, just to hold the plaster bandage until it sets. So I've done 50mm, and the other reason for doing this is, or I can say, is because of this level here. Even though it's different heights round the lake, that's like, you know, all this is all part of the land as it goes round here onto this. And this was put there so I don't see the trains what run over here on those tracks when I'm filming here, because it just wouldn't look as good as trying to disguise it a little bit. I know there's going to be buildings and stuff, but there ain't going to be a lot. So that's where I'm up to. I'll show you next when I've got some plaster bandage on. Right, so I've been doing a lot of static grass, making trays, and doing the area what I showed earlier when it was white, and that's at the moment what I've done. I've only done mostly this side of the track going round. I'd run out of static grass, but I've got enough now to sink a battleship. When I was at, I think, Alexander Palace this year, I saw WWS, and they had bags to refill the containers, and it was a little bit cheaper and you got a little bit more. So I'd rung them this week and I says, you do big bags to refill? I said, I don't know what size they are. And they says, 50, I think he said 50 gram bags. I said, yeah. I said, if that's the ones I bought at the show, then so be it, you know. I just know I can fill a container up. He said, yeah, you can sometimes get 2 out of them. I said, yeah. I said, it just depends how much you shove in and, you know, force it in kind of thing. Anyway, I got some dead grass, and I got some more of this, and these are even bigger than what they are in the show. These are another 20 grams more. At the show, they're smaller. But anyway, I got some. If I just pause you. So these are the bags, and they're 250 gram. And because I said I wanted two, and he said, "Oh, you want a 500 grams? That's the biggest size we sell them, but they're in 250s." Well, I ended up with 4 of them. Well, I think I'm going to get 3 or 4 containers out. So I've got enough of muddy grass to do all of the 4 layouts. Not that they're all going to have the same grass, but if I need some of that colour or that style, then I don't need no more of that anyway. But never mind. It won't go amiss at the end of the day. So I've made some trees, and they're starting to die off because this is autumn. And these do lose the leaves, where those types don't. They stay like that all year round, barring if there's any snow that falls on them up in the hills. So I've now got enough to do this next bit to here and to go around there and the other side, but I'm going to put the track down first, I think, before I do any more. But I just wanted to get this in, and this is what I was up to for the look. I can now not see the station from here, just sat generally. If I want to see it, I have to get up and look over, or go round and see it from the other side, or come closer, and then I can see over the top to the station. So it's like a different part of the world being here. I haven't stuck no more rocks on. My next pile is still in that same place it was before, but I'm happy. I'll keep adding bits to it as and when. I'll get different items, and different things will appear on the market where I can add to it. But I just love this effect of that is one area from here going round to here. I know I'm going to see the trains under here, but this isn't going to be decorated. And then even looking this way, I can't see the track, what's there. So again, hopefully when filming it'll look like it's a different part of the world area to that part. And again, when I go around to the other side and film it, if you just, so when I film from this side now, I know this is here, so that's going to be like a little corridor for the trains to go through. But you know, the idea is I just can't see the train. There'll be that green piece of MDF is going to be a proper girder bridge for the people to come up, park up and play in the lake. What is in here, which is just storage at the moment. And then there'll be a road, the bridge going across here to here. They'll come down, there's going to be a level crossing there, and they'll go to the rest of the world and the station area, and then it'll go off over there somewhere to the rest of the world. So I've been making I've got some more boards ready for the electronics. I've bought some more electronics to do. I think I've got enough GBMs now to do all the blocks in America, even the ones going down this side, I believe, what will go off to Europe. and to do the wood yard over here and the yard what's going to be in this area. I think I've got enough, I believe. I do need some more point units and some more point motors, but I've got enough to be getting on with. I think I can do electrify 7 more points, and there isn't that many more. These 2 need electrifying. There'll be one somewhere here. There'll be one here, so that's 4. I think around here there's only 2, maybe only 1. Can't remember how the plan is or how I tweak it a little bit. And up there, there's only 1. There's maybe 3 points going up there. Now, there are some points beyond that roll of tape. They need electrifying. They're just wired up to have power, but not to be electrified, because I haven't been altering it. But it's getting to the stage that I want them electrifying, and there'll be a board which will hang down in that area for them. So that's what I've been up to. These are seafoam trees. Those are hydrangeas. Basically, if you want to know how I'll make them, I will do a video. But I brought I cut them off, let them dry over winter, and then they're like that. And then you have to pluck them. Now, everything what I'm doing is big. I've got a 2-foot high helix, which isn't extraordinarily big. I've got this damn great big mountain. I've got a scale, container ship. Everything is on the big scale. And plucking them, there are hundreds of little petals on what all need to be plucked. And then I shape the tree, and then I spray it, and then cover it. And it goes from that to that, or to that one, that shape, or that's a fuller one. That was the first one I did. Then there's a small one there and a different shape one there. But you just take any of the stems out you don't want to make the shape and cover them up, spray them and stuff. But if people are interested, I will do a video to show you. And I've got 3 bags worth. My sister collected her from her plant, so she was involved. My sister who lives in Brid. So that's it up to now. In the next video, I've got a couple of new items to show you. Not trains, not rolling stock, but something. One people have had, which is a make of a gimbal, which I'm going to show you. It's slightly different. I've not seen one like it. And then I've got something else what I'm trying out. I'm experimenting, and it's very good. I'm hoping it's going to do some interesting shots, but we'll see. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll look forward. It's been a while, but it's been, I've been busy plaster parising, painting the ground, static grassing, layering, making trees, and getting electronic boards ready, and it's I've been quite busy. Doesn't look a lot, but every little bit I do changes it, and it's very enjoyable, and it's keeping the interest going. I just don't want to do static grass everywhere and then trees. I want to do a bit of this and a bit of that. And sometimes I need to do it because I need to see if it's going to work. Does this bit look good? And, you know, I know I can add to it. But it's been great fun and it's been nice, fairly cool. Today is one of its warmer days. It's 26 in here, but it's been averaging about 20 to 22 in the really hot spell, because this is all in shade, is this shed. It only gets very early morning sun and then it just goes. So, because of the woodland near us. But thanks again, and I'll look forward to sharing some more in the near future. Okay, bye.